In this video, I show you one of the most gigantic sole ulcers I've ever trimmed on this channel. We take a relook at that very same cow, take a look at an incredible installation I made, and hold up a massive cat. This is the Hoof GP.
Morning, how's it going? Today is a cold one. It's started to freeze here in southwest Scotland, which isn't good, but at least it's not raining. We are headed to a farm that we go to every 2 weeks to see this cow again. Cow 2803 to 2308, cow 2803. She had a massive ulcer hanging out the bottom of her foot. This is how she was looking 2 weeks ago, and the mornings like this, you're always kind of got your fingers crossed that when you go to that farm again, she's at least made some sort of improvement. My collar's all messed up, isn't it? Anyway, it's time for coffee. Time to get a bit warmed up, which actually will be something which helps us a lot now. So, we're gonna go outside with these coffees, get dressed, head to the farm, and pray that this cow has improved. By the way, Mrs. HGP still hasn't done her makeup since last time. Ashley! Hey! Hey!
Not here.
Apparently Ashley's not here right now. If you'd like to leave a message, do so after the beep. Beep! Trying to do this, and Campbell's just come into the room looking like a human snail. Ginger kids. Speaking of kids, you haven't seen these two for a while. Yeah. Yeah. They get confused easily. For those of you who haven't met them before, this is Mia and Steve. Steve is the clever one in the family. Mia's a bit dopey at times.
No, it's the other way around.
I might as well show you him as well. This is Bear. Bear is a kitten. He's quite big. Sorry, he's 8 months old. He's quite big. It's cold, but it's lovely. It really, really is. It's about -1 right now, so compared to where some of you guys are, it's probably not cold at all. Look at that for a sky though. Sun's not quite up yet. Yeah, this is what we invested in. I built the boys this year drying room. How good is this? It's awesome. That's Graham, by the way. Yes, I know, a much less handsome Graham, you're right. Graham is helping us with video editing. As you can see, the videos are getting better now through that. Yeah, so we built this drying room so that obviously we wash everything really well at every single farm, which means everything is absolutely soaking when we get home. Plus Mrs. HGP moans a lot about all the rubbish, horrible stuff, muck coming into the house. So this should help with it a lot. I've got my own washing machine and my own dryer. Not quite sure how they work, but they're over there. So yeah, this keeps everything nice and warm. So when we come in here in the morning, it is toasty warm like a little sauna. Right, let's get changed. So when we come in here in the morning, it is toasty warm. It's also got this really neat feature, which is like an auto dress kind of thing, where you basically just clap your hands and shout, auto dress, and you're done, which is a pretty neat feature and saves you an awful lot of time.
Right, let's get the radio on and get to work.
Give me a chance, yeah baby, try, just one more night, then make up your mind, please don't say that it's goodbye, bye, if you just believe it, I know we can make it.
So we've got about 25 cows here in total to do. We actually trim it at the farm across the road as well, so we do have an awful lot of cows here today in total between the two farms, I mean. So we're going to crack on and get all of these done before we find our little cow, because I can't quite see her right now. You see, this farm is actually a robotic farm, so the cows go through the robot wherever they want to get milked, and if they're lame or if they're due to be trimmed, they get shed off. So it might be the case that actually the shedding gate was switched on a bit later last night and she's not been shed off yet because she's not up out of her bed.
But both us and the cows are up and out of our beds, so whilst we are, we might as well get on and trim them. No matter how hard this job is, and no matter how much we all concentrate on the job in hand, all three of us just drift away into our own little worlds. Right now it's my daughter's birthday next week, so my thoughts of the love I have for her are pretty much filling my entire head as you watch me trim.
Right, so here is a quick recap on how this cow's foot looked just 2 weeks ago. When we first saw her outside claw was seriously overgrown, and I knew there was going to be a problem because she was the lamest cow we saw that day. We swiped away a couple of absolutely huge slices of hoof horn, which revealed this ulcer. The ulcer was deep inside the core of her foot, hanging down into the hole that my finger was protruding right up into. After a few minutes or two of swiping away with a knife, we soon realised this ulcer was colossal. We applied a block to the inside claw using Hoof Grip Pro, of course, and delicately sliced away the detached and loose hoof horn around the ulcer itself, being as careful as we possibly could not to slice into the ulcer. I was very happy with how this trim went, but if we look here at the end of the trim, you can see just how far down out of the foot the ulcer truly extended. We sprayed the ulcer with iodine and wrapped it with salicylic acid to hopefully kill off the outer layers of tissue and start the retracting process to dehydrate those outer layers of tissue, and this is how she was walking afterwards. She still had a limp, but she was starting to use that block, so I was keen to get back to where we are right now. Back on farm with her foot in the air, and here's how it's looking now. Clearly the foot is covered in slurry, and as we wash it off you can see the pinkness of the ulcer shining through. It's starting to recover. Believe it or not, it being as pink as this is a really good sign. All of this black hoof horn is staining from the slurry, meaning this is not in contact with the ground, but this part of her foot is. If we look from the side here, it's not protruding down as far as it was just a couple of weeks ago, so it is beginning to retract. Today, all we're going to do is reduce the outer claw a little bit more and make sure that the hoof horn going in round about the ulcer isn't jagging into it and, what's the word? Insulting it. Insulting the corium, basically scratching against it and making it, aggravating it, that's it. Basically, we're going to make sure the hoof horn round about the ulcer isn't aggravating it anymore so that the healing process can continue. But progress is slow. I was hoping the outside layers of the flesh would be starting to blacken and starting to dehydrate so that the hoof horn could repair underneath, but this is a huge problem. It hasn't gotten any worse, it definitely is better. So today we're here to make sure that progress continues. I'm going to slide the back of my knife in against that ulcer and hope that the pressure from the back of my blade doesn't graze it in any way. Because even though it is very blunt, obviously that ulcer is raw tissue literally sticking out, which shouldn't be exposed, but obviously it is. Oh, be delicate, Graham, be delicate. If you think about it, that ulcer is poking through an opening in an extremely hard material, i.e. the hoof horn. So that hoof horn will be jagging into it slightly. It's our job to make sure it's doing it as little as possible. There was actually a bit of a cut in the hoof horn itself here last time, which is healed up just about entirely, just where I'm trimming right now. These blades are handed, meaning they actually go in different ways. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that before. One is supposedly a left hand and one is a right hand. And I say supposedly because I use both and I'm right-handed, so they just work in different situations. Putting that nozzle in between our feet gives me that little bit better access to the ulcer so that I can be ever so gentle and get that out of the way. That's so good! So I'm excited because I just managed to take that big slither of hoof horn right away from the inside, which would definitely be aggravating that side of the ulcer. So now it won't be. These can be extremely difficult cuts to make without making any mistakes or grazing that exposed corium in any way, which is why I'm slightly excited. Right, there's one final cut round about this, hopefully. We're just going to push it also slightly back using the hook of the knife. You want to get a big plastic block out. So we're going to apply a plastic block to the top of this wooden block because the wooden block is actually wearing away slightly quicker than I would like it to. Hoof Grip Pro will keep it in place for as long as we need it to, but the plastic block will not wear at all, meaning that this ulcer will get as long as possible up off the ground and out of the dirt, slurry and manure so that it can heal properly. So if we look at this ulcer now and compare it to this ulcer last time it really was sticking down out of the foot, and switching back to this time, it clearly still is. There's no doubt about that either. But it has made an improvement. It's not sticking down as far as it was, and it's definitely not causing the pain it was a couple of weeks ago. This iodine should help to continue that shrinking process. And guess what? We're gonna see it again in 2 weeks' time to see how it's doing then. For now though, this is how she was walking last time, sore and still limping. And this is how she's walking today. Yep, still walking with a limp, but slightly better than 2 weeks ago. And the ulcer is beginning to retract. So, you guessed it, we'll be back here in 2 weeks' time to continue that process. We will do everything as much as we possibly can for Little Cow 2803. Join us on that journey by clicking the subscribe button or following this Facebook page. And if you do that, I'll see you then.